What's good? All right,
Man,
all right, everybody. My bad. I don't know what happened, but like I was saying earlier, welcome to 2019, man. 2019 is here. But quick announcements that I really want to make to everybody is from now on the Grits or not Grit Sports Media, but the average sports talk with the average guy will be streamed on Facebook and YouTube. So YouTube, you getting all this content along with Facebook. Also, if you have any questions for us during the podcast or anytime after the podcast or whatever, and you want to leave us a voice message, the number is 816-944-8098. So you can call, give us a question if you want to. Uh, give us your opinion on what we were talking about, or you can just say you want to be on the episode. We'll link up with you. But with all that being said, 2019 sports talk with the average guy. We are here and we ready to start, man. So let me go ahead and get what we're talking about real quick up. Why everything want to trip on me right now, man?
Hey, real quick, man. The Crimson Tide getting that beat down right now.
Oh, word.
Yeah, 31-16. Clemson is up at halftime.
All right, hold
you
on.
said 31-16.
31-16.
They getting
Yeah.
waxed, waxed.
Might see your boy Jalen Hurts in there in the second half.
Boom.
Do him like he did him last time. You know,
Yeah.
Nick Saban don't like taking them L's.
Right. All right. So, what was you saying, Lauren? My bad.
Nah, nothing, man. He took enough L's in Miami. Yeah, he said he ain't trying to take none in college.
All right. So we gonna
What's good, Corey?
long time no see, everybody, man.
What's good, Corey?
He quiet.
What's happening, man?
On you, man. Happy 2019, baby.
You
Yes,
said
sir.
what?
Happy 2019.
Yeah, I got shitty
Connection.
reception where I'm at. Got the
Okay.
new
Ah,
phone
okay.
and everything, but still reception's still bad. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Yeah.
We'll still work with it. All right. So, this weekend's recap. What happened in the NFL, man? The wrongs and who will move on to the championship game. So we're gonna talk about everybody that happened from. Well, I guess this weekend was the Colts and Texans. Or no, the Colts. Yeah, Colts and
Mhm.
Texans, Ravens and Chargers. So let's start with the Ravens versus the Chargers, which was Saturday's game, if I'm not mistaken. Lauren, I'll let you
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
Lauren, I'll let you go
yeah,
first.
yeah. That was the first game on the docket this weekend. Nah, I guess it was the second game. I take that back. It was the second game. Uh, I wasn't surprised, man. I didn't think Lamar Jackson would come out that flat. Uh, but I also because what the Chargers did, which was interesting, is they put 7 defensive backs in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So they changed up their entire defensive scheme to make it seem as if Lamar Jackson had all these running lanes and he didn't have them. So,
Oh, that's smart.
I think after 3 quarters, he had 40 yards passing after 3 quarters.
Yeah.
I know after halftime, people thought they might put Joe Flacco in there, but they was riding it down with Lamar. Uh, which you got to give them. You got to give them some credit. I mean, they could have easily went back to Flacco, but they wanted to ride, get the rookie some experience. Because once they put Lamar Jackson in, I would imagine they were kind of hedging their bets that they may not even make the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he came out, and the league wasn't ready for him, but they definitely were ready for him in this game. He got sacked 8 times. Uh, got the strip sack at the end where he fumbled the football to close out the game. So I mean, the Chargers had a great game plan and scheme against them. The running game never got loose, whether it was Lamar Jackson, whether it was Gus Edwards, and then passing. I mean, he wasn't ready, man. And I feel for him because I mean, if you think about it, like if you watch the game, San Diego didn't have a great offensive game. Like they really didn't. I think Phillip Rivers threw for less than 200 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Melvin Gordon ran for less than 75 yards, and they still won this game. So I mean, it was definitely on the backs of their defense. Which they have a solid defense. So I was surprised at how the Chargers won, but I actually expected them to win. Honestly, I knew defense that the Ravens defense was stout. And defenses can carry you through the playoffs, but it didn't work this time, man. So, but all in all, not a bad season at all for Lamar Jackson. He's definitely got a lot of room for growth, but I also see a lot of potential. I don't want to see him become a running quarterback, so to say. But, I mean, use your legs because I mean, that's a weapon too. He just has to find a good balance of when it's time to get the hell out of there and start running, and when he kind of needs to stand pat and try to, stay in the pocket and throw the football. But, great season, great rookie season for him. You know what I'm saying? He definitely exceeded the expectations, got the team into the playoffs because they weren't going to make the playoffs with Joe Flacco at the helm. I'm going to say that right here, right now. They wouldn't have made the playoffs if they would have stuck with Flacco. So, Flacco would be finding him another team in the offseason.
Oh, you going that far?
Yeah. John Harbaugh already said that we riding with Lamar. Next season, he's our starting quarterback. So, Flacco don't want to sit on the bench, especially not at this stage in his career. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's on the downhill side of his career. So, now he'll go to a team like, maybe Washington or, Jacksonville needs a quarterback. Miami's probably going to be looking for a quarterback. Go to some warm weather. You know what I'm saying? And enjoy yourself.
All right. Corey, you up next. What's your breakdown?
Same thing. Same old thing. Shit, man. Did you say you don't want Lamar Jackson to become a running quarterback?
Now, what I said is I don't want him to solely use his legs. Like, I feel like they schemed too many plays where there were, like, it was a quarterback draw. You know what I'm saying? I want him to use his legs, but I want him to use them where it's not necessarily planned. Because I think that's how defense was able to start scheming against them. They was like, all right, well, they calling, 8 quarterback draws a game. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to make sure we in the right defense.
That's exactly what happened. And I was wondering because, Lamar Jackson showed the ability to use his arm in college, but they really haven't done that here in the NFL. At times they do, but as far as, he's not on par with the quarterbacks as far as passing yards, even throughout regular season. I think through 7 games, he only had like 1,200 yards. Wasn't really lighted up on that end, but they could have done a lot more because when they opened him up in that fourth quarter, he was able to do some things. He's able to extend plays. He's got, when he gets going, gets hot, he can throw, fairly accurately. He started off, pretty. I guess it might have been the playoff jig or something, but his passes were off. He was overthrowing the receivers by a mile. But still, it was a great. It was a good game by I keep calling San Diego, the LA Chargers. Like I said, man, they finally Phillip Rivers finally had some help with him as a defense. Baltimore played a defensive game. What it just came down to was San Diego the better game, and that on top of bad play calling by the Ravens, regulating everything to the run. They just weren't getting anywhere. kept giving the San Diego Chargers perfect field position all game. And like I said, Lamar Jackson came on at the end, but it's a little too late. So this kind of threw a rod. In my projections, because I had a projection in Week 16. I had the Patriots and the Saints in the Super Bowl, but that was all under the prospect that Baltimore wins this game. I thought Baltimore could pull out this game, and they could have had the play calling been different. So it's going to be interesting. I think the Chargers have a real good chance of going into Foxborough and taking out Brady and company. They have a real good chance, and I'll tell you right now, I put my money on it, and this is not on no hater shit. The Colts are going to beat the Chiefs next week, so we might be seeing the Chargers and the Colts in the AFC championship game. This is a good look. We might see Phillip Rivers in his first Super Bowl. Hey, don't take it. Hey, you know it's coming. You know it's coming.
My man's funny.
Chiefs defense is too porous. We'll get into that, but the Chiefs defense is too porous. So this is a perfect opportunity for Phillip Rivers. Like I said, good win. San Diego's playing defense. That was a great scheme by them. Come in with the three safeties. It worked like a charm. They threw Lamar Jackson off all day. That was just shoot. He went to the fourth quarter with only 29 yards. He was 3 for 11 passing at one point with only 29 yards. So shoot. Yeah, they played an excellent game. The Chargers are a favorite in the AFC right now. I think they can go to New England. I think we'll get 2 road wins by the opponents next week.
All right. Yeah. Well, one thing I want to say real quick is my bad for all the technical difficulties that you guys are seeing right now. I'm trying to work on something. I'm trying to get it to where it goes to everybody's screen. But yeah. So my prediction, well, not every prediction, but I just want to shout out to Lamar Miller for showing us what he got in the fourth quarter, man. He was picked 35th overall, 35th pick in the draft, and he's doing what he's got to do, man. So, all I can say is that is a quarterback that I was looking forward to during the draft, and I knew he had a chip on his shoulder, and now he's letting everybody know what he's about. But all right, so now let's talk about that was Sunday's game. Let's talk about the Colts versus what were they called? Damn. What was the other team called? It was Colts versus the Texans. Colts versus the Texans. Yes, sir. Yep. Let's go ahead and talk about those.
Floor is yours, Mr. Gilmore.
Exactly what I thought of what happened. Exactly what I thought. It's a perfect opportunity for the Colts with the Chargers winning also. Like I said, that Colts and Chargers game can go either way. I just personally don't see Andrew Luck. I don't know, maybe it's because of the stigma, but, maybe I'm falling into the whole, history and everything, and I'm getting too locked into what it has been in the past, but I just don't see Andrew Luck going into Foxborough and winning that game. Now, I'm not going to count the Chiefs completely out. I'm not going to count them out because this is an explosive offense, the most explosive offense in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Most explosive offense in the NFL, but the defense is just the defense is historically bad, like the Saints was a couple years ago. But this is one of the best offenses there is, so I don't want to throw them to the side. They're still the favorite to win, in Vegas and everything, but not in my book. I think the Colts have been too good over the last half of the season. They're just one of the top teams in the league, and Andrew Luck's back to form, running games on point. They got the defense going. Yeah, and it was just too much, too much for the Texans. The Texans actually played a good defensive game also, but too early first quarter down 14-0 like that, and you playing come from behind all game. The Colts put that pressure on Deshaun Watson, and yeah, they just wasn't able to get anything going all day. So Texas came to play on defense because really after that more touchdown, but yeah, it was overall, man. This whole weekend, man, was a good defensive weekend. I liked it. There was, a lot of people were, thinking we're gonna start seeing, a bunch of 50-point games and things like that. Like, nah, that was just a product of the teams that were playing that day. Two outstanding offensive defenses on both sides, but two, the top best offenses in the league, and you just saw them play at the apex. But what I've come to realize within the past few years or so, are these players they continue to adjust, even with all these, these tough rule changes and things like that. The players continue to adjust. Now, you were seeing a lot of 30 to 30 type of games, in the years past, but over time, you're seeing more game that we got this weekend, like the Bears, the Eagles, 16-15, and last year you had the Jaguars and the Bills 10-3 in the playoffs. You still got games like that. And those are the games that Bears see for the most part. Huh?
You kind of breaking up. You was breaking up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I mean you still choppy. I can hear you, but you're choppy. I can't hear a word you're saying, bro. Lauren, can you hear him? Oh, you can hear him, but it's choppy over here for me.
I mean, it's choppy, but I can hear.
Okay.
Yeah. If he's talking now, he ain't saying nothing. He might have froze. I'll go ahead and jump in.
All right.
As far as Houston was one-dimensional in that game. Like, you had Deshaun Watson to DeAndre Hopkins, and that was all they had. Like, they didn't really have a secondary weapon, Mm-hmm. So I didn't think they had a shot against the Colts. I just felt like they were way too one-dimensional. You were depending on somebody else to step up. They really hadn't necessarily done that all year, And then you couple that with the fact that I think Deshaun Watson was the most sacked quarterback in the league this year.
Yeah, this year, yeah.
And some of that wasn't his offensive line. Some of that was him, holding the ball too long, but they didn't have any weapons. I mean, Demaryius Thomas didn't play. Kiki Kuti, I think that's how you say his last name. He was coming back from injury. So they just didn't have the weapons that they needed to have to win a playoff game. I'll be honest with you. Now, one thing they did do, if you pay close attention to the end of the game, they started giving teams a format on how to beat the Colts zone defense. Because at the end of the game, they started going with the shorter intermediate routes, and they had a lot of success. So I think that's something that the Chiefs need to look at as they go into the matchup this weekend. I think that they need to look at, okay, if they're going to play a zone defense, this is how we attack the zone. You attack it with, quick hit and runs, you know what I'm saying? Because they're going to be backing off. You hit it with short intermediate passes, whether you want to come across the middle, whether you want to go towards the sideline, and you loosen up that zone, because eventually they'll have to change up what they do if they can't stop you.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that our defense has been historically bad this year, really, really bad. Even with all the weapons that we have on defense. I mean, think about Justin Houston, D Ford. Our front four has been great.
Chris Jones.
It's been our back seven that's been bad. Whether you talk about the linebacking core, whether You talk about the safeties and corners, they've been the part that, you know what I'm saying, has been historically bad. But I'm interested in seeing if Eric Berry plays the entire game and what that does to the defense. I'm interested in seeing that because when he played when he came back and we played the Chargers, they gave up seven points in the first half with him in the game. When he played against the Raiders, which, I mean, you can go back and forth on the Raiders, so to say, but they still only gave up 10 points.
Right.
You know, so it's a different defense with him out there on the field. So if he's able to go and play the whole game, I'm interested to see if our defense is better. We're getting Fuller back for the playoffs. You know, he had surgery on his wrist.
Yep.
We're getting him back for the playoffs. So, I mean, we're getting a couple weapons back going into the playoffs that I think will help our defense. I still look at the Chiefs as the favorite personally. But, I mean, our defense is a cause for concern. I will say that. But I think we can put up enough points, and I think the defense can stop.
Say that again. You broke up.
I said I think our defense is good enough.
Okay. All right. The Colts and the Texans. All right. You said Deshaun Watson was the most sacked quarterback this year. I just want to make sure everybody knows that Andrew Luck was the most sacked quarterback. I think it was 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, a season and a half ago, something like that, because he was out last year. So a season and a half ago, he was the most sacked quarterback in the NFL with 58 sacks. This year, they've only allowed 18 sacks. So
the whole year. So what they did was to protect their franchise quarterback. They had to strengthen up that offensive line, which they did. Now with the Texans, I'll be honest with you, I didn't really watch the game. I just watched the highlights. So what I seen with the Texans and stuff like that, I didn't hear nobody calling any false call or bad calls or anything like that. I didn't see anything like that. I just seen the offensive line standing up strong to Jadeveon Clowney, J.J. Watt, even though J.J. Watt swatted the ball one good time. That offensive line looked like it was a man's offensive line, and like they were there for work. Like they were coming there to play the game. And I didn't think that the Texans' offensive line or the defense would be handled like that, but obviously they were. Looking forward to them versus the Chiefs. I'm gonna say I still have faith in D4, Justin Houston, Chris Jones, because those guys. I'm not taking anything from J.J. Watt or Jadeveon Clowney, or I forgot what the third dude's name is that's in the front line for them. But Chris Jones is deceptively quick. It's very deceptively quick. D Ford has that first step, and once he gets past you, gets past his defender, it's wraps. You know, he can wrap you up. Justin Houston, the same thing. So I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I still have Chiefs going. I have Chiefs breaking our curse against the Colts, but that's just me. That's just fan bias, I guess you would say.
Did you see my nice? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. But
Yeah. Did you see my nice little throwbacks I put together?
Yeah, I seen them. I seen them.
Yeah.
I told a few coworkers about them. I was like, "Yo," I was like, go ahead, look them up. Go ahead, look it up.
I didn't even put a caption with them. I just let me sit this here.
You know he got to take a dig because his boys ain't gonna be nowhere near as good as what they used to be. That's all it is. They lost Khalil Mack and then it was downhill from there. But all right, let's talk about the drama in Pittsburgh. Since Le'Veon Bell left, did that affect the locker room and now affecting Antonio Brown? Lauren, I'll let you go first.
No, I don't think the Le'Veon effect. I don't think the Le'Veon Bell effect has anything to do with Antonio Brown per se. I think there is a organizational toughness, and you got a diva wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to look at the fact that Juju came in and took some of his touches.
True.
Because Juju had an outstanding year.
Yes.
You know, I do think that Antonio Brown felt some type of way about other teammates talking about other people's money. You know what I'm saying? I think he did, take offense to that. And I think that kind of added fuel to his fire. And so, but I mean, I like Mike Tomlin and the fact that Mike Tomlin doesn't really back down. I actually like that about Mike Tomlin. But they just need to all come together and talk this through, because I know there was trade talks and all that type of jazz, but they just all need to sit down. Mike Tomlin, Roethlisberger. If you want Juju in the room, you can bring Juju in the room, but they just need to sit down and talk this through. I don't think this is irreparable like the Le'Veon Bell situation is. Like, Le'Veon's gone. Like, he's not coming back to Pittsburgh. If he comes back to Pittsburgh, I'm buying lottery tickets. Straight up. He's not coming back to Pittsburgh, but I think that Antonio Brown, I think that can be fixed, and they want to fix it because, I mean, they're going to have an even tougher time finding a trade partner with his salary, because his salary is, I think he's like, I think $20 million or something like that, and don't nobody want to pick up no 30-year-old quarterback that has a $20 million a year contract. Like, nobody wants to do that, So I think Pittsburgh, it's in their best interest to try to make this work at least for one more year, see what happens. The interesting part, we talk about the diva and Antonio Brown, but I feel like some of the diva and Ben Roethlisberger is really, really kind of working within his whole frame. You know what I mean? Roethlisberger wants to act like he's squeaky clean. You know what I'm saying? He's constantly in the media week after week after week. You know what I'm saying? Diming somebody else out, or, you know what I'm saying, having some choice comment about, somebody else on the team. I don't really feel like he's holding himself accountable. And there's just been a lot of hypocrisy for Ben Roethlisberger over the past 2-3 years. It's just been a lot of hypocrisy. And, I think in his mind, he's like, this is my team. This is my franchise. I'm the franchise quarterback. Everybody else is just a member on the team. He won't come out in a meeting and say that, but his actions and some of his words, I think, kind of echo that particular sentiment.
All right, Corey, you up next?
Yeah, this is another L for the Steelers. It's been a rough year, but like I said, guys, it's just been a bunch of divas all over the locker room, and that's not and people like Le'Veon Bell wasn't one of them. Le'Veon Bell, I say he wasn't one of them. He was going to get his money, and what you had was the offensive line going out, speaking out against him, and other guys on the team questioning his heart. And we're talking about a guy's livelihood on the line. Football career is short, especially running back position, getting hit every damn play. And the amount of production that Le'Veon Bell produces too. And you saw, even though what's his name Connor had a good year, it wasn't Le'Veon Bell numbers.
Right.
You had a lot to be desired in that category, and so that was part of it. It's part of the problem. And I think Mike Tomlin will get a hold of his guys. I think he's that type of coach. He's a tough coach. He just kind of lost the guys. You know, he's been around there for a while, and that tends to happen sometimes in the organization. It tends to happen sometimes. There may be some years where it just may be a little bit looser than in previous years, and the coach has to bring the reins in a little bit. But Pittsburgh's gonna have to find a way to get over the hump because they're always they're really if you go by the beginning of the season rankings and things like that, they're always probably looked at in the top 2 or 3 teams out the AFC, and it's the last few years it's just ended disappointingly, very, very disappointingly. So they're gonna have to do something. They need to go ahead. They need to figure out. They need to figure this out. They need to keep Antonio Brown. Don't get rid of him. He's the top receiver in the NFL. I know Juju Smith-Schuster had a better year, but that tends to happen. Like I said, consistently, Antonio Brown has record number years. He still had a huge year this year. Just to have Juju bringing more production now, that's just even better. The offense was on point. Like I said, the defense giving up big plays at times. They need to find some guys in that secondary, number one, but they got a lot to be desired. It's not the steel curtain anymore. It's not what they had. It's not what they had last decade with James Harrison and Palomalu. They're missing a lot on defense. So now I don't think they need to get rid of Antonio Brown, especially they've already the Le'Veon Bell situation is a foregone conclusion at this point. So to lose two huge guys like that, you playing with fire, and those are rare talents.
All pros. Those are all pros.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Be honest with you, dude. I'm not gonna say I called this, but when the whole Le'Veon Bell thing was happening, I figured something like this was gonna happen. And what is his name? It was Antonio Brown. Like I heard a lot of people talking about Antonio Brown as a cancer in the locker room, a cancer in the locker room, a cancer in the locker room. But I figured, like after the first time when Juju Smith-Schuster had the first 2 touchdowns or whatever, and Antonio Brown really didn't get nothing, I was like, all right, I could see why he would be a little frustrated. And then Antonio Brown got all 4 or 5 touchdowns the next game or something like that. And so I was like, all right, so he should be happy because he's getting his targets and he's getting the ball and everything else. But when this came out, the first thing I thought is, when my grandpa said, boy, I'm a Steelers fan from day one, I'm like, all right, grandpa, what you got for me? He's like, it's time for the coach to go. He said it's time for the coach and Big Ben to go. And I was like, excuse me, say what? I was like, Big Ben, yeah, but the coach? He's like, yeah. He's like, it's a new era, and I don't think he's gonna be gelling with the players like that anymore. I don't think the players are like what he was used to back in the day. It's a new era. So I was like, I mean, all right, grandpa, that's cool, but the coach, Big Ben, yes, definitely. And what I think needs to happen is they need to go ahead and trade away Antonio Brown, and trade away Antonio Brown to what team will I say? I will say the team that has the most picks in the draft this year. And I'm pretty sure you guys know what that team is.
Oh, really?
Yes. Trade Antonio Brown to that team. You get a bunch of picks.
Come on.
Then in the draft this year, you get a quarterback. You grab you a quarterback to replace Big Ben.
Ooh.
And then you have multiple other picks where you can just fit in different pieces. So I mean that was my thought process. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's raps, and it's not because of Le'Veon Bell. It's because of the bickering like little girls and boys of paychecks and shit like that. So I mean, yeah, what is you guys' thoughts about that?
So I'm gonna say this, man. if Mike Tomlin go, man, it ain't gonna be no brothers coaching for a while.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like Mike Tomlin is amongst his peers. We ain't talking about players. We talking about other coaches. Mike Tomlin is well respected for the way he handles his players. I actually think if you really listen to a lot of his post game interviews, he does a lot to protect his players from the media. You know what I'm saying? Do him and Antonio Brown gel? No. You know what I'm saying? Like, Antonio Brown is a more of a fun player. You know what I'm saying? Mike Tomlin is about business. But all great players want the ball. All great players want the ball. You know, so the fact that, you know, he's complaining about not getting the ball enough, it's a validated statement. I'm not going to say it's the right statement, but it's validated because he's that talented of a guy that he may feel like, hey, you've been sticking the ball right here for the last 2-3 years. Why all of a sudden do you not want to stick the ball here anymore? Now, you brought up an interesting question that I'm going to pose to Corey. Corey is...
That's what I'm here for, baby.
Is Antonio Brown... How many... Oh, we lost him.
No, he's...
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I think he's here.
There he is. Corey's statement. Is Antonio Brown worth?
Yeah, my reception's been there.
Is Antonio Brown worth 2 first-round draft picks?
Ooh, he said 2.
I lost him. He gone again. His reception going in and out. I'm gonna say no. I think the Steelers need to keep him. I don't think he's worth 2. Is he worth 1? Absolutely. The Amari Cooper trade will tell you all about that. Like, he's definitely worth 1 first-round draft pick. Whichever one you got to give up, you give up. I definitely think that if you can find a trade partner, I just don't know, because looking from the Pittsburgh perspective, I mean, is Juju Smith-Schuster a number 1 receiver? Not yet. I would give him 1A right now, but I won't make him a number 1 receiver. He's a 1A. I think he's good enough to be a 1.
Hey, hold on. Okay, there you go. Your voice cut it out.
I think you still need Antonio Brown. I think you still need Antonio Brown to make the team go. You can make the team go with James Conner. I will say that much. He's a good enough running back. You get a solid backup behind him, and the running game can be serviceable. I don't think that's the problem, but you need Antonio Brown to make that offense go still.
Oh, okay, because like my thought process is going because they have, I forgot what the young man's name is. They got another receiver that Big Ben likes a lot.
James Washington.
Yeah, that Big Ben likes a lot. So I'm thinking you got your 1A receiver in Juju, and then now you have your B1 receiver, which will be that James Washington young man. So I mean, hey, that's something I'm tossing out there to everybody in the ether. If it happens, y'all heard it here first. But yeah, give us your comments on if you think Antonio Brown is worth 1 or 2 first round draft picks. I said 2. Lauren says 1. If you're a Raiders fan, I would love your input. And y'all know I don't like the Raiders, but yeah. All right, so next up on the list, hold on, let me go ahead and pull it up real quick. Let me pull it up. Okay, all right, Pittsburgh. All right, with 4 coaches down, and the loss of their NFL jobs, what direction would the NFL coaches ranks go? And I wish I would have had all the names pulled up. Lauren, I'll let you go first, but I really do wish I had all the names pulled up. Hold on.
Yes, so I mean, we lost this season. We lost Van Joseph. We lost Hugh Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
You lost Marvin Lewis, and you also lost Todd Bowles
Yeah.
from New York, and then you also lost Steve Wilkes from Arizona. So you lost 5 minority coaches this year. 5.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're left with Mike Tomlin and Anthony Lynn for the Chargers. You have 2 minority coaches. So we went from 7, which was 32, somewhere around 18% of the coaches were minority coaches when the season started.
Right.
You're now down to two minority coaches. You know, so that's what you got 32 teams, so that's 1/16. I mean, that's not a great percentage
At all.
The Rooney Rule came into play. When the Rooney Rule was created, to give minority coaches opportunity. You gotta give every head coaching position you have to interview a minority coach.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, and this is just my personal opinion, that the Rooney Rule is no different than affirmative action.
Ooh.
That all you're saying is an opportunity. Well, let's be honest. I mean, opportunity you can still come up with a reason to say, I'm not going to hire him. You can still come up with a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So while I respect the Rooney Rule and I respect Mr. Rooney for working to put something in place to give an opportunity, I mean, the big of all those firings, okay, Todd Bowles should have been fired. Should have been fired. He just took the Jets off the ground. Maybe no, that was the Jets.
That was the Jets. Okay.
Yes. Marvin Lewis, bye.
Yeah.
Bye. You ain't been to the playoffs. You ain't won a playoff game in 16 years. Bye. Hugh Jackson should have been fired.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as much. I mean, he did well to keep his job as long as he kept it.
True.
Vance Joseph, I'm on the fence about that one because he only got 2 years, and it was a rebuilding project when he took over the team. Even though that Denver doesn't want to admit it, it was a rebuild. But the one that got under my skin was Steve Wilkes in Arizona. You gave him 1 season, and he wasn't like he didn't win no games. They went 3-13.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a great season. They were going to get the number 1 draft pick. I get it. But you got a crappy offensive line.
Terrible.
Your defense outside of Patrick Peterson is garbage. So all you got is David Johnson and a rookie quarterback. You wasn't going to win no more than 3 games this year. So to fire him, he ain't got nothing. He didn't have anything to coach. So to fire him, that's the one that really got under my skin. That lets me know that their ownership and their senior leadership dysfunctional. Totally dysfunctional. You don't bring in a coach for a year on a rebuilding project just to turn around and fire him.
Right. Yeah.
You don't do that, you know. So, you know, to me, it's like if we don't win as black coaches, I'm gonna say black. I'm trying to get away from the word minority because I feel like that's a suppressing word. But as black coaches, if you don't win, you out. Is the message that's being sent.
True. Yeah.
We ain't gonna talk about all the shitty ass Anglo-Saxon coaches that have been able to keep their jobs.
He said it would be worse than I would.
Yeah, I mean, you got. I mean, let's I'm gonna circle to Denver right quick. John Elway, one of the greatest quarterbacks ever to play the game,
Mm-hmm.
is the general manager.
Terrible.
in Denver. Outside of getting Peyton Manning, he ain't done nothing.
Nope.
He hasn't got the quarterback position right. Let's see what he gonna do.
He tried 2 times.
And he hasn't gotten it right yet. And now a third time with Case Keenum, still nothing. Like, let's send him out the door, or let's put him on notice. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm the owner, I'm sitting the coach, I'm sitting the GM down, and I'm saying, if we don't have a winning season, both of y'all gone. Both of y'all gone. But the Steve Brooks one, that's the one that just, it gets under my skin, man. Because I'm like, why did you give him the job for 1 year? Why did you give him the job?
Ooh, boy, wait, who boy?
And who? I'm trying to figure out who's in the ranks. Like, that's the thing that I'm like, where do we go from here?
Right.
You got Chris Richard in Dallas. He'll get some interviews. I think I've been hearing some rumblings that Eric Bieniemy with the Chiefs to get some interviews. But that's it. Ty Bowles is probably not going to get another head coaching opportunity.
True.
Hugh Jackson.
Yeah.
Marvin Lewis. I hope somebody's like, hey, let's bring in Steve Wilkes, Vance Joseph. I mean, where do we go from here? You know, I just feel like it's a fine line, as it's always been. It's a fine line, and as a black coach, if you don't win, you out, and you on a short leash. Out of all these coaches, the only one that stayed with the organization over 3 years was Marvin Lewis.
And yeah.
All those other 3 coaches, 3 years or less. 3 years or less. I mean, you think about when New Orleans had those 2 shitty ass seasons. Nobody talked about Sean Payton's job.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody did. You know, Jeff Fisher, who was one of the worst coaches ever, coached the damn Tennessee Titans for 10 years. Figured out a way to get rid of Vince Young, who actually wasn't that bad.
He was a good.
Went to the Rams. Fucked that whole organization up.
Back in St. Louis, yes, he did.
But yeah, and I'm like, this dude has 16 years and won like 2 playoff games, but he got to keep his job though. You know, and I mean, you can go on with just tons of Anglo-Saxon coaches, you know what I'm saying, that have had shitty ass years, multiple years. I'm not talking about one. I'm talking about multiple years. Still got their job. So something needs to be done to add some language to the Rooney Rule. But I'm going to tell you the only way this is fixed. And it's not going to happen, but this is the only way it's fixed.
Go ahead, lay it on us.
You go get a black owner that hires a black GM, that hires a black head coach. That's the only way you fix it. And now I'm not saying that you go in, your entire coaching staff is all black dudes, because that's not a good idea either. You need a diversity in thought, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm not saying that it's a good idea to go out and just have an all black coaching staff. But if you got to go that far to prove a point, maybe you do got to go that far. I mean, seriously. Now, when Diddy had his opportunity, and I think the opportunity was real, his mouth got him in trouble. Because he came out publicly and was like, I'm letting you know right now, if I get ownership of the team, the whole coaching staff going to be black. And I'm like, why did you say that shit?
Yeah, you right. His mouth probably did get him in trouble.
You know, I mean, basically, you make a statement like that publicly, all the other 32 owners or 31 owners going to be like, yeah, we're not letting him in. We not letting him in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Sashi Khan only got in because you know, they fuck with them A-Raps, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
they're about the economics, you know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I get that one, you know, but
Oh, you know about
it's
numbers?
it's
I
it's
like
it's
it.
it's, it's time. It's time for a black owner. It's time. You know, I don't know who. I know that Steph Curry was
He's he was
trying to
gonna be.
get a group together.
Yep.
Uh, but it's time. It's time. That's the only way we gonna fix this. Like, I mean, we got to start breaking down some barriers in higher positions. Hell, Reggie McKenzie with the Raiders, the only black general manager in the league. Because
Mm-hmm.
Ozzie Newsome was, but he was retiring, so he don't count.
Yeah.
Uh, he got fired. So now we don't have no black GMs.
Now,
So no black owners, no black GMs, two black coaches.
now let me go ahead and
But the league is 70% black.
slave mentality. But shout out to LeBron. But no. Before I go on my little tirade or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Before I make it like what everybody likes to say or racist, I want to first and foremost shout out to Stephen A. Smith for saying some real shit. And here it is.
Just falling away by the wayside. I don't know how many other people gonna say. You got some people say, I thought we were beyond that. And I just want to say a few words to white America. I'm getting sick and tired of that nonsense.
Me too, bro.
It's easy for you. I thought we were past it. Well, when were you a part of it? When did you have to worry about fairness? When did you have to worry about being prejudiced against?
My man.
When did you have to worry about being pigeonholed and minimized? For folks out there in white America, for folks out there hosting their own radio show, television show, or beyond, so quick to point out, I thought we were beyond this. Could you do me a favor, please, and be quiet? Could you do me that favor? I'm not knocking. I want to be very, very clear. I'm not knocking anybody who's not black, who's not a minority, for not understanding it. I am saying something different. Be decent enough to understand that you don't understand, and shut the hell up.
Hey, hold on. There's more.
You don't understand. You don't get it. Mike McCarthy has barely had a chance to pass gas, and he's already being interviewed for you couldn't win the last 8 years with Aaron freaking Rodgers as your quarterback. And everybody in New York talking about how he could be the guy to uplift Sam Darnold. Well, you couldn't win with Aaron Rodgers. We got a league that's 70% black players. We now have 2 black coaches. There's 32 jobs. 2. America, can I ask you a question? Black folks don't have no money? We can't get one black owner in the National Football League? Not one? No black people with money, huh? And for those of you out there who are uncomfortable, comfortable.
Here we go, finishing it up.
Am I saying what I have to say? I have a solution for you. Put more minorities hosting national radio shows.
That's what I'm talking about, Stephen A.
They'll speak up for it, and I won't have to. But until then, I'ma stay all up in y'all. And I'ma be relentless with it. Uncomfortable with me? Am I saying what I have to say? I have a solution for you.
All right, man. So what I gotta say is shout out to Stephen A. Smith one more motherfucking time for letting these motherfuckers know, man. But shit like this that irritates me. Like, in the whole thing with LeBron James saying that it's a slave mentality, da-da-da-da-da, I agree. That's all the combine is. That's what I say every year. It is the modern day where they measuring niggas, literally. You get a couple white dudes every now and then, but literally that's all they doing is measuring niggas. That's all they doing. And now let me say that I know this might offend some people because this is still a PC. This is a PC generation, a PC world right now. But shit, it's got to be said somewhere. And mind you, I'm just an average guy with a podcast. You know what I'm saying? and I give my opinion on everything that's put in front of me that needs something to be said. So, do I think there needs to be a minority, a black person in ownership? Yes. Do I think it needs to be run correctly? Yes. I don't think a lot of nigga shit needs to be happening. And I'm saying nigga shit. That's right. Because I know people gonna be like, oh, you know, yes, I am black, all right. But yes, no nigga shit needs to really be happening. You know what I'm saying? We wanna show you guys. We can show you that we can do this just better than you can. That's what y'all afraid of. That's exactly what you guys are afraid of. If that happens, it's gonna be World motherfucking 2. Oh no, there's no way they just came in. There's just no way they just came in with a team that they built that won the championship. What? No. There was some PED usage. There was some bribery of the coaches. But when the white folks do it, it's cool. AKA Tom Brady and the Patriots. And I'm not saying Tom Brady with the Deflategate and all that. I'm just saying it's been proven that your coach has cheated one or two times. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the teams in the NFL have done some shit where that can be proven to be PED usage, like with the headhunting situation. You know what I'm saying? You get this boy, you knock him out of the game, we good. We'll give you a $1 million bonus. You know what I'm saying? And then also with the players really can't say nothing because what? Let's say Lauren, you're a superstar, right? You need one more interception and you get $1 million bonus. And you playing against a trash quarterback that you know is gonna throw your direction, and you gonna get that $1 million bonus. You know what they gonna do to your ass? Get on the bench, get the bench player up there. No. We not having that. We're gonna get this dude some playtime. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna say, oh no, it's just because we want him to get playtime. It's not because we don't want you to get this $1 million bonus when it really is. Hey, I ain't shit, but I'm speaking facts right now. Man, all I'm saying is, there needs to be change. And what they really did in the beginning of the year, they was like, yo, we're gonna give you niggas what you guys want. We're gonna give y'all leadership, boom, boom, boom. Head coaches. Woo! Head coaches. Colin Kaepernick's out of the league. We're gonna give y'all niggas what y'all want. We're gonna give y'all niggas head coaches so y'all can shut the fuck up. Super Bowl. What's supposed to happen in the Super Bowl? Travis Scott was supposed to be playing in the Super Bowl, whatever, or performing in the Super Bowl. That's not gonna happen allegedly. I don't know what's going on. Cardi B. So now that they can't get none of these hot Atlanta artists or hot artists, rap artists, let me say rap artists, black rap artists, what do they got? Everybody's talking about they're not gonna watch the Super Bowl after show, whatever the fuck it is.
Now, halftime show, nobody watch. I don't nobody watch it anyway, man. We go to fill up our cups.
But who do they have now? They have Maroon 5. And they're trying to use Maroon 5 to get Cardi B in there. And Cardi B said no. So, it's a lot of dirty games that are played in the NFL. And I'm not even gonna say the NBA, because the NBA is more fair than the NFL. To be honest. The NBA is a little bit more fair than the NFL. And what is that? The league it's a league gonna be coming in next year. I forgot what it's called. The NXT,
the XFL.
XFL. The XFL is supposed to come up next year. But all I'm saying is, it's some shit that needs to be changed in the NFL, and it's not gonna get changed. They just did that. They literally, it was a purge. That's what they did. They was like, yo, we shut them motherfuckers up for a good amount of time. Now that they're shut up, we're good to do what the fuck we want to do. Get these motherfuckers the fuck out of here. We ain't want them in here anyway. Hey, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So if you got anything else on this, Lauren, I want to shout out to to Stephen A. one more time for that.
Yeah, Mr. Smith. Well said, Mr. Smith. Well said. Nah, it's just so hard, man. It's hard being black.
Yeah.
It's so hard sometimes because I think about this particular situation, and I'm like, we have dominated the three major sports in America.
Facts.
Dominated the three major sports in America. We're talking about baseball. Now you may say, oh well, they're not black people. Cubans, they're black too.
Exactly.
They're black too. Basketball, we've dominated since the '70s when the ABA and the NBA merged. The NFL, since the AFL NFL merger, we've dominated. But we can't get our scruples, man, and that's frustrating because it's like, okay, am I just gonna come all the way out right and just say what I gotta say, or am I going to hide my message subliminally? Like it's a catch-22.
Mm-hmm.
It's a catch-22, and so it's just like, I don't knock the people that come out and say things blatantly, like LeBron said. The NFL is a slave mentality. Here's what needs to happen. I'm gonna tell you what needs to happen. This is the only way we win, and this is going to be tough because we're talking about people's pocketbooks.
Facts.
Black players don't play. Don't play. You go play for Vince McMahon in the XFL if you want to. Don't play. Just don't play. Like, what would the NFL do if all of the black players were like, he's not going to play this week. He's not going to play. You wouldn't even be able to field a team. You wouldn't be able to field a team if all of the black players were like, we're not going to play.
True.
Go get us a couple of head coaches and then we'll play. Other than that, we're not going to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gotten to that point because, I had a ton of respect for Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy is one of the great black coaches, you know what I'm saying, that's coached football thus far, and I think it's time that those of the past speak up for those of speak towards those of the present, those of the future. Bill Belichick was trash in Cleveland. He got another opportunity. God damn it, you better give another one of these coaches you fired an opportunity. Yep. You ain't got to give Marvin Lewis one. You ain't got to give Marvin one. He had his time. Hugh Jackson be playing mind games too much. Vance Joseph, and especially Steve Brooks. Todd Bowles is a great guy. Now, maybe he made a mistake in not getting an offensive-minded assistant coach to really come in there and take a hold of that offense. But he ain't had no damn quarterback neither. Mm-hmm. He just got Sam Darnold this year. Damn, give him a shot.
Right.
Give him one more year before you be like, oh, yeah, we got to get you out of here. Because what's in there? They need to go after, a hot shot offensive guru now that they got Sam Darnold. Why? So you gonna go get Sam Darnold, then the defense gonna turn the shit again? Right. That's what you gonna go do? You gonna go get all them weapons, and then the defense turn the shit again? No, Todd Bowles is a great coach. He deserved better than he was given in New York, and I hope that he gets another job. Vance Joseph, he had 2 years. Young dude. Vance Joseph, a young dude. I hope he gets another opportunity to coach, and I hope they all do. You can bring Marvin Lewis back if you want to, Hugh Jackson, all like bring them back if you want to, but two out of 32. 2 out of 30 NFL, you got some explaining to do. Roger Goodell, you need work for your paycheck, buddy. Yeah, I said it, buddy. Work for your paycheck. Go get me some coffee. I don't give a damn if you put a woman in there. I don't give a damn if you put a woman as a head goddamn coach. They signed that fucking Condoleezza Rice in Cleveland.
Right.
Do something. Do something. Like this is atrocious. This is demeaning to the culture. To be like, we gonna let go all y'all coaches and we just gonna throw our guys back in there, man. I'm not saying that some of these. I'm not trying to knock none of these white coaches that are getting opportunities or have opportunities. I'm not knocking none of them. Go get yours too, but god damn it, throw us some bones, man. Throw us some bones. Because I guarantee you, one of those coaches, Todd Bowles, Steve Wilkes, Vance Joseph, one of those coaches is a great coach. Mm-hmm. One of those three is a great coach that in the right system, with the right players and the proper coaching staff around, have a team in the playoffs year after year after year after year. Every year.
Right.
And football is freaking blood sport, man. You can't fire the coach for the dude missing a fucking tackle and the other team wins the game. You can't blame the coach for that. He had him in the right position to make the tackle. Mm-hmm. He just missed the goddamn tackle. Dude ran for a touchdown. So, NFL, fix this shit. Fix this shit. Mike Tomlin, Anthony Lynn, go help them fix this shit. Because this is terrible. It needs to be fixed. Not now, right now. Right now. Y'all see, Mike Tomlin, your season's over. Go help us out, man. Go help us out. Go talk to your people and say, hey, this shit ain't right. Let's figure out how to fix it. Let's adjust this fucking Rooney Rule. Because that Rooney Rule has some cracks in it. Mm-hmm. It has some cracks in it. You know, let's go fix it and get this shit right. But I'm telling you right now, there's one fix. There's one fix. And I don't know how it happens, but something's got to happen. Hey, look, man. Hey, black people, we real good at this shit. Just put our money where our mouth is. There's a lot of us in the world right now. Put 5 on this shit. Every black person, put 5 on this shit. And let's just go get a team. Let's just go get a team and bring it to the NFL.
Well, because the black dollar is powerful.
Yeah, put 5 on it, homie. All you got to do is put 5 on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
I don't want 10. Just put 5 on it. Every black person in America, put 5 on it.
Yep. Hey, I'm down with it. Black Wall Street. Y'all want that Black Wall Street so bad. Y'all gotta put your money where your mouth is. Buy black, all the other stuff, man. Support black. Hey, but you know me, I'm just average out the podcast. That's all that is. All right, man. So we're gonna move over to the NBA, man. We're gonna first and foremost, let me go ahead and pay my condolences to Tom Thibodeau. He is no longer the head coach for the T-Wolves. The T-Wolves have let him go, man. So what is your thoughts on that, man? What is your thoughts on the Thibodeau out of here? You knew it was going to happen?
Yeah. And it's just the type of coach he is. Like, so you talked about.
Lauren. You froze? Uh-oh. So I don't know if he's gonna be able to come back, but let me take over for him real quick. Yeah, man, Tom Thibodeau's out, man. I'm gonna say I did see it coming. I really did see it coming. It's unfortunate, but I did see it coming because the fact of the matter is, him and Chicago pretty much had the same exact thing. The same exact thing, man, where him and the front office would bump heads, and since they would bump heads, tempers and egos got way too high, and they were like, you know what, I'm cutting you off. It's a wrap for you, Thibs. And Chicago suffered for it. I mean, Chicago's players suffered for it as well because they would get injured a lot because he would run the best players down to the ground via Derrick Rose. And Derrick Rose even put his thoughts in on it, and he was like, yo, Thibs is my guy. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for Thibs, I wouldn't be playing in the NBA right now. You know what I'm saying? Because he said Thibs searched him out. What in the world is going on? Yeah, he must have frozen, lagged out. Okay, yeah, he frozen, lagged out. But yeah, man. Yeah, Derrick Rose said that Jimmy Butler loved him, but I mean, he ran his best players to the ground. So all I can say is, man, is he's out of here. Yeah. Let's see what the T-Wolves can do without Thibs. Let's see what they can do without Thibs, man. Okay, H-Town in the house, man. The Rockets have been on a tear over the last few games, man. So James Harden has been cooking of late. He's beat the Warriors with a last minute 3. And I don't know why this thing isn't going on me. But yeah, he's beat the Warriors with a last minute 3. He's beat I think he beat the Denver Nuggets, and he's beat some top tier teams. But my only thing is can he do this consistently in the playoffs? He can do it perfectly and very well during the regular season, but in the playoffs, can he sustain this high ability, this high scoring 50 point games, 62 point games, triple doubles? Can he hold this in the playoffs? Chris Paul, you really haven't heard too much about, because I honestly haven't been paying attention to basketball like that. But yeah, man, I don't know what's going on. I'll be honest with y'all. I have no clue what's going on, but I don't think he can hold this in the playoffs. And without James Harden scoring 60 plus points, I don't believe that I don't believe that the Rockets would really be in the same place that they are now. I'm just gonna say that. But all right, yeah, man. Like I said, Clint Capella, Chris Paul, I don't know if they could put up those numbers, and I do apologize for all the technical difficulties. But I'll be working on that pretty soon after this stream, matter of fact. But yeah, I just don't know, man. I really don't know if he can sustain that. Denver Nuggets. Oh, also, yeah, let's speak of the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets are number 1 in the East, or no, West. Yeah, the number 1 in the West. Hold on, I'm trying to pull it up real quick. And also the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks are doing their thing as well with Giannis. Giannis is Giannis, man. That's all I can say, honestly. Giannis is Giannis. Also, Jimmy Butler has had a little kerfuffle with the head coach of his new team, the 76ers, man. I don't know what's going on there. I will have to do some research, but I heard from some of the sources that Jimmy Butler said something to the coach that the head coach didn't like, and the person I was listening to said that he believes that Jimmy Butler's trying to get the head coach fired, which that head coach is off of the Greg Popovich branch of coaching. So I don't know why that would happen. And also, what is his name? Damn. Not Ben Simmons, but Joel Embiid is not liking the fact that Jimmy Butler has cut in on his playtime and like him getting the ball, him scoring and stuff like that. What is going on with this? I have no clue. But yeah. With all that being said, I'm gonna actually save this probably for tomorrow's episode of the Average Guy Podcast on the Average Guy Studios. Also, what I want you guys to do, this will be it. This is just me rambling real quick, not rambling, but letting you guys know what's gonna happen. So every Monday, 8:30 or 9 o'clock, the Sports Talk with the Average Guy will be live on Facebook and YouTube. Also, every Tuesday, the Average Guy Podcast will be up at 9 o'clock. We go live on YouTube, Facebook, Mixer. What else? Oh, Twitch now. We'll be live on Twitch. And also you can, if you're not able to watch them on YouTube, which is the Average Guy Studios, which is the YouTube, you'll be able to find the audio version on You'll be able to find the audio version anywhere you get your podcast. SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Store. You'll be able to find all the old episodes and all the newer episodes on that feed from those platforms. So with all that being said, man, this is your boy, The Average Guy Podcast. This is Sports Talk with The Average Guy. And also, I want to make sure you guys hit the links in the description below for Lojo Speaks and Grit Sports Media. Grit Sports Media is where we get all your sports needs. Lojo Speaks is, I would let Lauren do it, but I don't know if it kicked him out, if it froze. I don't have no clue what's going on. But with all that being said, man, this is your boy Randy. If you need to find me, the Instagram is The Average Guy Podcast, or my personal Instagram is Randy_Ace. If you have any questions about anything that we spoke about today or for the Average Guy Podcast, let me know. The YouTube channel is The Average Guy Studio. So make sure you go subscribe, comment, rate on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud. You know what I'm saying? You hit those hearts, man. That helps us grow for the podcast, man. But this is Sports Talk with The Average Guy, man. And I'm your host, Randy Anderson. And we are